You know, I had this patient, she's 25 years old. She weighed 325 pounds. And she came in and she did my program. The first month, she lost absolutely no weight. But she wasn't unhappy because her cravings were gone, she was sleeping better, she had lots of energy, her skin tone was much better. And then the second month, she lost 21 pounds. Third month, she lost 63 pounds. It was at that point where I really realized that you don't lose weight to get healthy. You have to get healthy to lose weight. And this principle has been so successful that, in fact, I don't even know a time where it didn't work. It works pretty much on everyone. And if a person doesn't understand that philosophy of that sequence, it boils down to a correct sequence, they're very susceptible to the next unhealthy program that comes along. And there's so many unhealthy programs, and I'm not going to mention any unhealthy program names, calorie counting, pre-packaged foods, B12 shots. All these programs don't necessarily get you healthy. The foundation of getting healthy is actually nutrients. So unless the person has the nutrition in those calories, you never have increased the health. In fact, cravings won't go away either. One of the reasons why people have cravings has to do with nutrients. Do they have nutrients in the calories or not? If you stimulate the body with B12 shots and all sorts of diet drinks, you won't necessarily improve the person's health. So the first principle that you need to know is that you need to get healthy, then lose the weight. So one of the things I want to talk about is the adrenal body type. The adrenal gland monitors stress. It counters stress. So all the stress in your body is reacted to by the adrenal gland hormone. So there's a couple things you need to know about stress. Stress is accumulative. Old injuries, infections, there's no difference, no reaction difference between having a loss of a loved one and getting hit by a car. It's the same reaction on the adrenals. So all stress is accumulative. And one of the things that we found with the adrenals is that the adrenal gland tends to keep the body in a constant state of stress. And that interferes with sleep. So let's take a look at sleep here. And we have this time picture. This is midnight, and this is noon. And this is when you sleep. Take a look at these waves right here. This is the hormone called growth hormone, and this is where you burn all of the fat. You don't really burn any of the fat during the day. It's all at night. I mean, you might burn a tiny bit during the day, but it mainly happens at night. And here's the problem, is that stress hormone, cortisol, interferes with growth hormone. So the more stress you have, the less you can sleep. In fact, let's just take a look at something right here. When you go to sleep, there are 4 waves, or what's called circadian rhythms, that one goes through. These are 90-minute cycles. They actually go 90 to 110. And this is the REM sleep. That's when you dream. It's very active. It's actually not a restful sleep, but rapid eye movement is kind of a superficial type sleep. Now down here is where you have the delta wave. This is the really good sleep. That's all the regeneration, that's the rejuvenation. This is where you burn the fat, right here. What you do during the day, like how you exercise, all that, affects you at night when you're sleeping. In fact, all the exercise and the eating good things that you do during the day will end up burning fat 14 to 48 hours later when you're sleeping. So sleeping is a very, very, very important part of burning fat. In fact, if you're not sleeping and you burn all the fat when you're sleeping, then it's obvious what's causing the problem. But the sleep cycles are important to remember, and also just to realize that getting the proper sleep. When people sleep, they go to bed like at 1, you miss the wave. So you never get that full rejuvenation. With the adrenal body type, they can't really get to sleep. If they don't go to sleep by a certain time, they miss the wave, and now it takes like 90 minutes to finally get into that sleep. There's something else I want to show you. I'm going to draw a body here. This is my great handwriting here. Here's what we found. your body accumulates stress. So it's very important when evaluating someone that we look at the accumulated stress, physical stress, as it relates to their sleep patterns. So let's say they broke their nose, or they get hit in the nose, or they got hit in the head. They broke an arm, they had a whiplash injury, they had 3 children with a C-section, they fell on their knees many times, sprained ankles, they fell on their tailbone, which locks up the back of the neck right here. See what happens when you injure a part of your body, the force gets stuck on the next bone over. So if you fell on your hand, your elbow will start hurting, or your shoulder. So let's say they had that, they fractured a rib, they have their gallbladder removed, appendix removed, tonsil removed, sinus problems, asthma. These are all the questions that I'm interested in knowing about, because that's the stuff that is still stuck there. So the body, especially the adrenal gland circuits, tend to keep the pain, or not just the pain, but the energy stuck in these different points. So we do what's called acupressure. And the acupressure is a technique to release this old stress from old infections or old injuries. And when you release that stress, and it's done in a very unique way, we don't actually press on the old injury. We release it with a technique called ACET, Acupressure Stress Elimination Technique. It really helps a person get into the deep sleep cycles right here. So we actually do a test. And I want to show you a diagram of this test. I'll show you what it looks like. This right here. It's a little blurry, but you can see this is one of the tests that we do. We measure part of the nervous system. This dial right here should be completely balanced. It should be right here. It shouldn't be that low. This tells me the person is burnt out. So we're actually able to measure how much stress is in the body. So let's take a look at someone else here. And this one right here, here's another example. This person is physically really stuck in a lot of stress. It's way too high. Remember, this one should be balanced. So this person is stuck in stress. This person is already burnt out. This person is in the process of burning out. This person already achieved burnout. So the reason why we do this test is we're able to measure how much stress is in your body. And we use this as our feedback to when we do the technique, acupressure. We do it before and after, so we're able to see the stress coming out of the body. The thing that most people focus on is they're tired and they try to stimulate their body with a B12 shot or a caffeine or something like that. We have a different approach. We're extracting old stress from the body that makes the graph get better and pulls the stress out and allows the person to sleep better. That's part of our program. Now, if the person has good graphs, we don't do that. But if they have a lot of old stress stuck in the body, it's essential to help them. It's one part of the getting healthy, removing stress. It's why? Because of this darn hormone called cortisol. Cortisol interferes with weight loss. So the more stress we can extract from your body, the better chance you have of losing weight.